November 1st.
I can't believe it's already November.
Friday.
Yeah, 2013 has just zoomed on by.
Thanks God. It's November.
Yeah. TGIN.
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 You know, they call, some of the mainlanders call November 1st as the small stick day. Small stick, yeah.
Because it's like this?
Because November is 2 stick.
Sure.
And then there's 1 more stick.
Yeah.
And then in Chinese, a blank stick without anything.
Yeah.
It means you are single.
Ah.
Yeah.
So it's a good month for singletons.
Yeah, it means that the singletons should come out and meet people.
Oh, really?
Or consolate each other.
Oh, console each other. Yeah.
And then they have the Big Sticks Day.
Yeah.
Which is November 11th.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, all of them are sticks.
Ah, interesting. Well, of course, November 11th is a special day for people from countries like Canada and the UK because it's Remembrance Day for World War II. And here in Hong Kong every year, traffic gets blocked off on the Sunday morning around November 11th for a big ceremony at the Cenotaph. Right? You know where the Mandarin Oriental and the Hong Kong Club in between there?
Yep.
And so there's a big ceremony, and I go down and I take the kids every year for that on November 11th. So
that one?
A big stick.
That you go with your kids?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Not the night before?
No, I'm very, bad. Well, I've got the kids on the duty, but not so much on the fun.
Good guy.
Well, it's important stuff.
All right.
So, hey, it's Friday. Sometimes Friday is good for crazy ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Harbor Times comes out today. It's just coming out of the printer, so I wasn't able to bring it here for you.
All right.
Don't worry, Vincent. I'll make sure you get one. And the op-ed today, we're going to be talking about immigration. It's part 2 of our immigration series.
Yes.
Yeah, we had part 1 last time. I think we talked about it about a week ago. And what we're going to be talking about or suggesting is a radical idea in immigration.
Mm-hmm.
Hong Kong right now, we have the population policy study in full swing. The government put out their briefing document. They're taking deputations now. And people tend to focus on this, and they tend to think about Hong Kong's population as being mainland. With the exception of a few people coming into the quality migrant scheme where you got to be like a Nobel Prize winner or like Olympic gold medal athlete or whatever.
Yep.
It doesn't have a big impact on the numbers. But I think given, this number that now everybody, I think, in the last couple of weeks has heard, the fact that our labor force is going to start shrinking in 2018, we need some new ideas. If we are having some adjustment issues with people coming from the mainland, there's no reason we shouldn't broaden the pool a little bit. Right? And so what we're going to be suggesting is that Hong Kong should look to have a really radically different immigration, where instead of thinking of immigration as a control function, keeping people out, it's part of security, they start to look at it more like places like Canada and Singapore where they say immigration is a recruitment function. We got to go get the best people we can. And I'm going to suggest that maybe Hong Kong should mix it up a little bit.
All right.
Right? Take people maybe from the Philippines. Right? Quality Migrant Admissions Scheme says people who speak English or Chinese. Right? So, for example, contractors in Hong Kong. It is impossible to get an English language speaking contractor to come and work in your stuff. There are thousands and thousands of English speaking Polish tradesmen who have lost their jobs in Britain.
Yep. I'll tell you a story.
Let's bring them to Hong Kong. Let's bring them to Hong Kong.
Yeah, about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I was sitting at one of the food courts in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
And then there are 4 Filipino ladies sitting, having very nice burgers.
Okay.
And then they all dress in suits.
Right, okay.
Yeah. And then I was actually quite surprised.
Okay.
And then I asked my friend, how come all these 4 Filipino maids dress in suits?
Okay.
And it so happened the guy sitting next to my friend knew that 4 Filipino ladies.
Oh, okay.
And he told me, actually they are our contractors. In our engineering companies.
So they weren't helpers at all.
They are architects.
They were architects.
They are consultants.
Yeah, they're serious professionals.
So I was so embarrassed. I mean, it just got me rethink. Actually, I mean, in Philippines, they are experts. They are professionals as well. That you can bring them to Hong Kong. And I'm talking about a decade ago.
Oh, yeah.
A decade ago.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely. There are definitely people that can, because the labor shortages are going to happen at the bottom. We're talking about construction workers and wait staff in restaurants.
Yeah.
Truck drivers are going to be a real problem. Although there's a skilled element to that.
Yeah.
And then it's also going to be at the high end. So I think we really need to start to think about, you got to mix it up a little bit.
Yep.
Like I know in Canada what they've done is now they don't have the highest level of immigration from the same country year after year after year because they want, and I suspect it's a means of avoiding ghettoization. But if you said this year we're going to take a whole bunch from this country and this year a whole bunch from this country, you kind of even it out.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, that's a very contentious issue because whenever we talk about bringing more people to Hong Kong, most of the Hong Kong people, if not a lot of them, will automatically think you bring in more people from the mainland.
And then they get all up in arms about it, which, and I take issue with people getting upset about it.
But you know what? If we want to bring in more people, it does not necessarily you bring in people from
the mainland.
The mainland.
If we're going to be Asia's...
I mean, I know there are many people in mainland, but
and
we don't need to necessarily bring in every single new immigrant from the mainland.
Yeah, we can, if we're going to be Asia's world city, then we should be attracting people from all over the world. And the QMAS, Quality Migrant Admission Scheme, is a small admission of that, but it's really too small scale. We got to go big. When Hong Kong can go big. So whether it's taking, we say we need tradesmen, all right, let's get 5,000 English-speaking. You want them to be able to function properly. English-speaking tradesmen from, I'm just, Poland, I picked out of my head. I'm sure we could get people from Ireland, there are parts of Africa. As long as they have the language skills, why not? Right around the corner from where we are now, here in Causeway Bay. A couple of times I've come over to do this show, and there's a guy, I've seen him a couple of times, and he's like quite clearly black from Africa, speaks fluent Cantonese, like puts me to shame. I mean, I'm like, but the guy is clearly from around here, and I see him talking to people who are working, and they all seem to know him, and he's getting into the fabric of society here. There's no reason we couldn't have a few more thousand like that. In a city this big. I think we've got the heart for it. I think we can plan for it, and I think it would help to solve a lot of the labor issues and the population issues we're going to have.
I agree completely.
Yeah?
I think the key word for today, naturally, should be recruits.
Recruitment. Yes, immigration should be a recruitment function, not a control function.
All right, thank you. See you next week.
Good stuff. See you next week, Vincent.
All right.
Cheers.